Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on heat transfer. Today we are beginning a new topic, that is radiation. So let's begin. Our first topic is absorptivity, reflectivity and transmissivity. So here, as you can see in this figure, consider this to be a surface on which this is the incident energy flux, that is Q0. So this is the input radiation energy which is striking this surface. There are three possible options of what is going to happen with this incident energy flux. First is, here it can be absorbed in this surface, that is QA. Second is, it can get reflected, or third is, it can get transmitted. So this Q0 can be a combination of these three. So the total radiant energy Q0, that is this portion, incident energy flux, impinging upon a body would be partially or totally absorbed by it, that is QA, that is this portion. Reflected from its surface QR, that is this one, or it can get transmitted through it, that is QT, in accordance with the characteristics of the body. So these are the three possible options, that it can get absorbed, reflected or transmitted. By conservation of energy principle, the total sum must be equal to the incident radiation, that is QA plus QR plus QT is equal to Q0, that is based on the energy conservation principle. Now here what we have done, that we have divided the whole equation with Q0. And here instead of writing these ratios, we have written some parameters like alpha, which stands for QA upon Q0, then rho, that stands for QR upon Q0, and tau, that is QT upon Q0, where alpha is known as absorptivity or fraction of total energy absorbed by the body. Then rho, second is rho. So alpha is given by QA upon Q0. Second is rho, that is reflectivity or fraction of total energy reflected from the body, that is QR upon Q0. Third is called transmissivity, that is fraction of total energy transmitted through the body, that is Qt divided by Q0. As these are ratios, the values of above factors may vary from 0 to 1. It depends upon the nature of surface of body, that is whether it is rough or smooth, its temperature and wavelength of incident rays. Now there is one particular kind of body which is known as a black body. A body which absorbs all thermal radiations impinging upon it is known as black body. So here alpha will be 1, so everything will get absorbed, nothing will be reflected nor transmitted. So the reflectivity and transmissivity values will be 0. And one of the examples for black body is snow. Its absorptivity is 0.985. It is nearly a black to thermal radiations. The next is grey body. When a surface absorbs a certain fixed percentage of impinging radiations is known as grey body. So here the absorptivity for grey body will be alpha will be less than 1, but surely it will remain constant. That is the characteristics of grey body. So for example, it can be like alpha equal to 0.75. So this is the example of grey body where this percentage will remain fixed. That is 75% of impinging radiations will get absorbed. As I have said that the absorptivity of a grey body is necessarily below unity, but it remains constant over the entire range of temperature and wavelength of incident radiation. So it remains, this is the important part, it remains constant over the entire range of temperature and wavelength of incident radiation. The next is white body. A body that reflects all incident radiations is called absolutely white body or specular body. So here the reflectivity will be 1, that is everything will get reflected. So absorptivity and transmissivity will be 0. The next topic is Planck's law, that is wavelength distribution of black body radiation. The energy emitted by black surface varies in accordance with wavelength, temperature and surface characteristics of the body. For a prescribed wavelength, the body radiates much more energy at elevated temperature. So this shows the dependence on temperature, that if temperature is higher then the radiation will be more. Likewise, the amount of emitted radiations is strongly influenced by the wavelength even if the temperature of body remains constant. So this is a dependence on the wavelength. Now the next is the law which is governing the distribution of radiant energy over wavelength for a black body at a fixed temperature were formulated by Planck. The law for spectral distribution of emissive power is given by this formula, which is as you can see here, this is very important relationship, that is E lambda for black body is given by 2 pi c square h lambda raised to minus 5 divided by exp hc upon k lambda t. Here we will see the nomenclature of each term one by one. That is, the symbols used have the following meanings. First is H. H, that is Planck constant, given by 6.6236 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule into second. C is velocity of light in vacuum, which is given by 2.998 10 raised to 8 ms inverse. Next is Boltzmann constant, which is given by K. We have seen C. Now the next is K, which is whose value is 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23 joule Kelvin inverse. Lambda is wavelength of radiation waves, which is given by meter. T is absolute temperature of black body in Kelvin. So you need to remember this formula, that is the Planck's law. That is the energy emitted by a black body at given wavelength. Now this is the distribution of monochromatic flux density with respect to the wavelength and for a given temperature. So here the previous law can be written similarly in this way, that is E lambda b can be rewritten as C1 into lambda raised to minus 5 exp C2 by lambda t minus 1, where here we have replaced few terms with two constants C1 and C2. Here C1 is 2 pi c square h, which is whose value is 0.374 into 10 raised to minus 15 joule meter square per second, and C2 is given by hc upon k, which is 1.4385 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter into Kelvin. Now here the quantity E lambda b denotes monochromatic emissive power. Monochromatic means single wavelength. So I will be using at few points this short form MEP. So you should remember that meaning of MEP is monochromatic emissive power, and it is defined as the energy emitted by a black surface in all directions at a given wavelength lambda per unit wavelength interval around lambda. So this is the definition of monochromatic emissive power. That is, the rate of energy emission in interval d lambda is given by this formula, that is E lambda f into d lambda. And here the variation of distribution of monochromatic emissive power with a wavelength is called spectral energy distribution, and it has been shown in the figure. So if you see carefully on this graph, on x-axis we are having wavelength in microns, and on y-axis we are having monochromatic flux, density, which is E lambda b into 10 in watt per centimeter square into centimeter. So here if you see, these are all constant temperature curves, and at lower temperature, that is, let us take example of 700K or 900K, the monochromatic flux density remains almost constant over a larger interval of lambda. But as the temperature is increasing, we can see a huge variation in the monochromatic flux density. Now the important features of this curve. First is MEP, that is monochromatic emissive power, varies across the wavelength spectrum. The distribution is continuous but non-uniform. As you can see, it is non-uniform. The energy, the emitted radiation is practically zero at zero wavelength. So this is justified with this region, where at zero wavelength the emitted radiation is practically zero. With increase in wavelength, the monochromatic emissive power increases and attains certain maximum value. As you can see that here, after increase, it reaches certain maximum value. With further increase in wavelength, the emissive power diminishes and drops again to zero at infinite wavelength. That is, it diminishes to zero in this region. I hope you are getting this. At any wavelength, the magnitude of emitted radiation increases with increase in temperature. That can be seen from that figure, that as you can see that as temperature is increasing, the emitted energy is also increasing. The wavelength at which the monochromatic emissive power is maximum shifts in the direction of shorter wavelength as temperature increases. So here, as you can see that the maximum energy emission is towards the shorter wavelength region. So if we divide this whole region, then as we are increasing temperature, we are getting the maximum MEP in the shorter wavelength and not in this larger region. Okay, this signifies that at elevated temperature, much of the energy is emitted in narrow band ranging on both sides of wavelength at which monochromatic emissive power is maximum. Fourth point is, at any temperature, the area under monochromatic emissive power versus wavelength gives the rate of radiant energy emitted within the wavelength interval d lambda. This fourth point is already written over here. That is, This is the same statement that is being repeated here. The rate of energy emission in interval d lambda is equal to E lambda b into d lambda. That is, we can do integration in this way. That is lambda from 0 to infinite. The integral measures the total area under MEP versus wavelength curve for a black body, and it represents the total emissive power per unit area radiated from the black body. Now our next theory is Wien's law. For shorter wavelengths, the factor C2 upon lambda t. For shorter wavelengths, the factor C2 upon lambda t becomes too large, so that the exponential of this term C2 upon lambda t is greater than 1. So minus 1 terms in the denominator can be neglected. So currently we are discussing about our standard formula, this formula. Here, suppose lambda is very large, then if lambda is very small, then here, we need to copy this first. So here, let us say for shorter wavelengths, that is when lambda is less, then C2 upon lambda t is too large, so this term will be greater than 1, so minus 1 can be neglected. That's why we have neglected this minus 1 for shorter wavelength. That is the Wien's law. That is for the modification in Planck's equation for shorter wavelengths. The next is Rayleigh-Jean's law. Here now we are taking the exactly opposite thing, that is for the longer wavelengths, where the factor C2 upon lambda t is small. So in that case, this exponential of C2 upon lambda t can be expanded in a series to give this, that is exp C2 upon lambda t is 1 plus C2 upon lambda t plus 1 by 2 factorial C2 upon lambda t square, in that way. So we are not going to count these terms, because here these are already very small values, and again they are having power of 2, 3 and 4 and so on. So the remaining terms can be avoided or neglected. So we are left with 1 plus C2 upon lambda t. So now the Planck's distribution law becomes in this way, and this is the Rayleigh-Jean's law, and this is useful in analyzing long wave radiation such as radio waves. Our next theory is Stefan-Boltzmann law. So first we need to understand the definition. The definition is for total emissive power E. Of a surface is defined as the total radiant energy emitted by a surface in all directions total radiant energy emitted by a surface in all directions over the entire wavelength range per unit surface area per unit time. So that is the definition of total emissive power. So it should be in all directions over entire wavelength range per unit surface area per unit time. The basic rate equation for radiation transfer is based on Stefan-Boltzmann law, which states that the amount of radiant energy emitted per unit time from unit area of a black surface is proportional to fourth power of absolute temperature. So here EB is given by sigma B into T raised to 4. So this is, that is the amount of radiant energy per unit time per unit area of black surface, that is this, is proportional to the fourth power of temperature, that is absolute temperature. That is the Stefan-Boltzmann law, where sigma B is radiation coefficient of black body, and the rate equation can be set up by integration of monochromatic emissive power over the entire bandwidth of wavelength for lambda equal to 0 to lambda equal to infinitive. That is with this formula. So here the values of constants are already known to us, that is C1 and C2, and putting these values of constants in above equation, we will be getting this final equation, that is the value of EB is given by 5.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 into T raised to 4. That is, here we are not going into detail of this. You should do this integration by yourself, and this will be the final value that we are getting. So EB is equal to sigma B into T raised to 4, where sigma B is given by 5.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 watt meter inverse to Kelvin inverse 4, that is the radiation coefficient, or it is also known as Stefan-Boltzmann constant. This law helps us to determine the amount of radiation emitted in all directions over the entire wavelength spectrum from simple knowledge of temperature of black body. So as you can see, if you see this equation, then here this is EB, that is only function of absolute temperature T. Normally, a body radiating heat is simultaneously receiving heat from other bodies as radiation. Consider that surface 1 is at temperature T1 is completely enclosed by another black surface at temperature T2. The net radiant heat flux is given by Q net is equal to sigma B T1 raised to 4 minus T2 raised to 4. To determine the fraction of emissive power which lies in wavelength interval lambda 1 and lambda 2 at a given surface temperature T, we can write down in this way that E, that is for the interval lambda 1 to lambda 2 of black body, is equal to integration lambda 1 to lambda 2 E lambda B d lambda, where we can separate this integration with this, that is 0 to lambda 2 integral and 0 to minus 0 to lambda 1 integral. Expressing it as a fraction of total emissive power, we can write down this, that is E lambda. We have divided the entire equation with the overall integral 0 to infinity, that is we have taken the entire range of wavelength on both the sides. So for the entire range, we can simply replace it with sigma b T raised to 4. So finally, we can write down this in form of a fraction f. So this is all about Stefan-Boltzmann law. Now our next theory is Wien's displacement law. From the spectral distribution of black body emissive power, it is apparent that the wavelength associated with maximum rate of emission depends upon the absolute temperature of radiating surface. So we have seen this in our spectral distribution. Now the nature of this dependence can be obtained by differentiating the Planck's expression. That is, once we differentiate this Planck's expression with respect to absolute temperature, we can obtain the relation. So here there is a correction. We need to differentiate this with respect to lambda, not with respect to temperature, and setting this derivative equal to 0. So the solution, we are not going into the details of mathematics behind differentiating this with respect to lambda. We will directly go to the result right now. That is, we will be obtaining this result, that C2 upon lambda T is equal to 4.965. And here the value of lambda max T is given by C2 divided by 4.965, whose value is 0.0029 meter into Kelvin. That is the unit of lambda max into T. Here lambda max denotes the wavelength at which the emissive power is maximum. The Wien's displacement law may be stated as the product of absolute temperature and wavelength at which the emissive power is maximum is constant. That is, to repeat this part, the product of absolute temperature and wavelength at which the emissive power is maximum is constant, and its value is 0.0029 meter into Kelvin. The law suggests that lambda maximum is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature, and accordingly the maximum spectral intensity shifts towards the shorter wavelength with rising temperature. A combination of Planck's law and Wien's displacement law yields the correlation for maximum monochromatic emissive power for a black body. So this is the formula, and we have put all the values here. That is, if you see, instead of here lambda t, we have put this value that we obtained in our last slide. So finally what we are getting is 1.285 into 10 raised to minus 5 into t raised to 5 watt per meter square per meter wavelength. Thus the magnitude of maximum monochromatic emissive power, that is this value, varies proportionally with fifth power of absolute temperature of black surface, and this can be justified with that figure here, that as you can see, as the temperature is increasing, there is a huge impact in the monochromatic flux density, because it is having a proportionality of fifth power of temperature. Now our next theory is Kirchhoff's law. For that we need to focus on this figure. Here there is an exchange of heat between a black and non-black surface. Here on the left hand side we are having a completely black surface, and on the right hand side we are having non-black surface. Consider two surfaces. One is absolutely black at temperature Tb, so this is at temperature Tb, and another one is a non-black surface at temperature T. Now the surfaces are arranged parallel to each other and so close that radiation of one falls totally on another. The radiant energy E emitted by a non-black surface, so this is the energy which is emitted by a non-black surface on the black surface, and its value is E, impinging on black surface and gets fully absorbed. Likewise, the radiant energy EB emitted by a black surface, so this is emitted by a black surface in return. Emitted by a black surface strikes the non-black surface, that is over here. Here let us say that if the non-black surface has absorptivity alpha, so once this EB strikes this non-black surface which is having absorptivity alpha, then here this term, that is alpha into EB, will be absorbed, and the remaining will be reflected. Okay, so total striking was EB. Out of this, alpha minus EB was absorbed, so this is the remaining portion which is being returned. So that's why the final one is 1 minus alpha into EB. This will be reflected back for a full absorption at black surface, so this will be fully absorbed here, and we are assuming that nothing is being transmitted, everything remaining part is reflected only. So the radiation interchange for non-black surface is equal to E minus alpha EB, that is written over here. So here this is the interchange, that is E was given, and we have again giving this, that is 1 E was here radiated and this is absorbed, so that's why the net interchange is E minus alpha EB. Let us say that if both surfaces are at the same temperature, that is if T is equal to TB, then the conditions corresponding to mobile thermal equilibrium for which the resultant interchange of heat is 0. In such case, E, that is this portion, if the temperature is same, then E minus alpha EB is equal to 0, so E upon alpha is equal to EB. This relationship can be extended by considering different surfaces in turn. That is E1 upon alpha 1 equal to E2 upon alpha 2 equal to E3 upon alpha 3 or so on, EB upon alpha B. Here it is written only EB. Why? Because alpha B, that is absorptivity of the black surface, is unity and EB is only function of temperature. So the above expression shows that the ratio of emissive power E, the ratio of emissive power E to the absorptivity is same for all bodies and is equal to emissive power of black body at the same temperature. This relationship is known as Kirchhoff's law. So as you can see, this ratio is same. This ratio is same for all bodies and is equal to emissive power of black body, that is this. Now the definition of emissivity. The ratio of emissive power of certain non-black body E to the emissive power of black body EB, both bodies being at the same temperature, is called as emissivity of black body. So the ratio of E to EB with same temperature of both bodies is called as emissivity of black body. It is a function of both physical and chemical properties and the state of the surface, that whether it is smooth or rough. That is E upon EB is equal to alpha and it is the emissivity epsilon equal to alpha, where epsilon is equal to E upon EB is emissivity. Kirchhoff's law statement is this, that is the emissivity epsilon and absorptivity or alpha of a real surface are equal for radiation with identical temperature and wavelength. So whenever the temperature and wavelength are same, emissivity and absorptivity of all real surfaces will be equal. That is the Kirchhoff's law statement. Now our next theory is intensity of radiation and Lambert's cosine law. So first we need to understand a few terms on this. First is the plane angle, that is defined in this figure, that it is defined by region of rays of a circle and is measured as the ratio of element of arc of length L, that is this portion, on a circle to a radius r of a circle, that is this is the radius. So this is the standard formula for plane angle, where alpha is equal to L upon R, that is angle is equal to arc upon radius. So this was the standard formula that we were studying. Angle is equal to arc upon radius. Now the next is solid angle. The solid angle is defined as a region by rays of sphere and is measured as, so here that is corresponding to this figure, it is defined as the region by rays of a sphere and it is measured with this, that is an upon r square, which is equal to a cos theta upon r square, where here the important thing is an, which is equal to projection of incident ray surface normal to the line of propagation. An is equal to projection of incident surface normal to the line of propagation. Capital A is area of incident surface, theta is angle between the normal to the incident surface and line of propagation, and r is the length of line propagation between radiating and incident surfaces. So here the same can be seen in this figure. Here this is the surface A, capital A, and a line normal to the surface A is given by this. This line is the line normal to a surface A. This is the line of propagation that is striking this surface, and this region, this is the projection of surface normal to the line of propagation over here, so that the an will be equal to a cos theta. And here the unit of measure of solid angle is steradian SR. Now our next topic is intensity of radiation. So here first we need to understand this figure. Consider a small black surface dA, that is over here, shown here. This is the emitter arbitrarily located at a point in the space under the consideration and emitting radiations in different directions. So this is the black surface emitter with area dA, and it is radiating in different directions. A black body radiation collector through which the radiations pass is located at an angular position characterized by zenith angle theta. So here we are discussing about this radiation collector over here. We are discussing about this portion, this, which is at an angle of theta from the normal direction. So this is the zenith angle theta. Towards the surface normal and azimuth angle phi, that is over here. So this is the azimuth angle phi of a spherical coordinate system. Further, the collector subtends a solid angle d omega. This should not be considered as W, it is d omega here. So this is the value dW is the solid angle over here. The intensity of radiation I is the energy emitted in particular direction per unit surface area through unit solid angle. The area is projected area of a surface on a plane perpendicular to the direction of radiation. So here the collector or incident surface measures the variation of emitted radiations depending upon its angular position. The maximum amount of radiation is measured by collector when it is at the position normal to the emitter, that is somewhere over here, somewhere in this region where it is normal, and the intensity in direction theta from normal to the emitter follows the Lambert's cosine law. So here the cosine law by Lambert is given by this, that is the intensity of radiation in a direction theta from the normal to black emitter is proportional to the cosine angle of theta. That is, if In denotes the normal intensity and I theta represents the intensity at angle theta from the normal, then we can say this formula: I theta is equal to In cos theta. That is the Lambert's cosine law, that intensity at angle theta is equal to normal intensity into cos of angle theta. Apparently, the energy radiated out decreases with increase in angle theta, because cos is decreasing function. That's why as theta is increasing, I theta will keep on decreasing, and once we reach the theta being 90 degree, then here this I theta will be 0. When the collector is oriented at angle theta 1, from the normal to the emitter, then the radiations striking and being absorbed by the collector can be expressed as this. That is, dEb at theta 1 is equal to I theta 1 dW1 into dA, which is equal to, we can simply utilize this formula over here, that is In cos theta 1 dW1 dA, where dW1 is the solid angle subtended by a collector at a surface of emitter. Now, the collector could be located at a different angular position and still maintain the same radial distance from the emitter. So let it subtend a solid angle dW2 at the emitter surface when located in the direction theta 2 from the normal. The rate of flow of energy through it will be similar to that, that is, we have utilized similar kind of formula here, and we can also write down in this way. So for any surface, we can generalize this formula that for any surface located at an angle theta from normal and subtending a solid angle dW at emitter dA, we can write down this. That is, dEb theta is equal to In cos theta dW into dA. So here, this is the end of this part 1 of radiation. So let's quickly revisit our topics of today. We started with the definitions of absorptivity, reflectivity and transmissivity. Then we defined black body where alpha is equal to 1, grey body in alpha is less than 1 but it is fixed and does not change over the entire range. Then white body where reflectivity is 1, Planck's law given by this formula, and this is the spectral distribution. We studied about the important features of this. The next was Wien's law, which is for shorter wavelength, the modification of Planck law. The next is Rayleigh-Jeans law, which is for longer wavelengths, and we have modified the Planck's law for longer wavelengths. The next is Stefan-Boltzmann law, in which Eb is proportional to 4th power of temperature, and we have integrated it so that the final values are like this, and we have obtained the value of constant, Stefan-Boltzmann constant, and these are in form of fraction. Next was Wien's displacement law, in which we obtained that lambda max T is equal to 0.0029 meter Kelvin, and we obtained the value of A lambda maximum, which is proportional to 5th power of temperature. The next was Kirchhoff law. So here the Kirchhoff's law is emissivity and absorptivity of real surface are equal for radiation with identical temperature and wavelength. Next we studied about the plane angles and solid angle, and we also studied about Lambert's cosine law, where the formula is I theta is equal to In cos theta, and we also generalized the radiant energy formula. So this is the end of today's lecture, and we will continue this chapter in our next lecture. Thank you for watching this video.